What's good, people? Nell here, and this is some kind of part 2 to a tutorial of drums. That was a bit hard to say. So a couple of weeks ago we posted a drum tutorial where we talked about drum miking. If you didn't see it, you can follow the link here. It will be somewhere in this zone. Am I pointing in the right corner? You can follow that link and watch the previous tutorial we made on positioning microphones for recording drums. Whether you're working in church or in a studio setting, that will always do you well. Today we're going to focus on a few ideas that can get the drums to sound magnificent. This is going to be a two-part tutorial. Today we'll focus on just working with the original drums that we recorded, getting them to sound big, bombastic, like boom. And then next week we will do part 2, just about enhancing them with extra samples and stuff. So let's dive right in. So here are the drums with the microphone set up the way they were illustrated in that video. This is what they could sound like. If I dance, it'll become a sticker. Those drums have 100% zero processing on them. Now we'll just go one by one and look at a few things that we could do to make them sound a little bit more interesting. So on our bass drum, we've got this EQ. An EQ is like a frequency specific volume adjuster. This is the actual curve that we used. Wow, it has so many valleys. But basically it takes our bass drum from sounding like this to this. So basically we're scooping out some mid ranges there. This is what? 200 hertz, 200, 500, 2000. Just scooping them out. So a typical temptation would be, when you have a bass drum sounding like this, would be to increase the low end. And that sounds pretty good. And some top end makes it like a smiley face. But I find that when you do that, you start pushing the volumes too hot, things start to distort pretty quickly. So my preferred approach to EQs is always to just find the things that we don't like. In this case, it was some of these mid ranges, some of these tones, and just take them out. Take them out. Here's a, that sounds like a tin can. Let's get it out. That sounds pretty good. So you've got the before and after. It works quite nicely. This is a snare that was recorded. A little bit of EQ on it. Just thin it out a little bit. Take out some low end. Make it a little bit bright. Not too much. Like we did in the drum tutorial last time, our overhead microphones are really designed around our snare drums. So the rest of that snare is going to come from these overheads, which sound like this. That's a beautiful, beautiful overall drum sound. And then we'll do some processing. So apply some EQ, get out the stuff we don't like. Sounds like chaos. Then I have this compressor, which is a compressor I love, by Waves. Usually just drive the input hard. It distorts the drums in a beautiful way. I love distortion. So when you combine that overhead microphone with our snare, you get energy. Come on. And so there's our drum kit. Bass drum, snare, overheads. Then of course we've always got our tom-toms. Alright, so those tom-toms just sounded great when we recorded them. So in the mix we did nothing to them. It's just the tom-toms flat with them coming through the overheads together with the snare and the bass drum. It sounds something like this. Further advancing the point that if you put your microphones in the right place, you have a great sound. The post-production is not that deep. Then as always, drums love it when you give them some reverberation. You know what reverb is? Reverb is like a room sound. That is just like, you know, like, so some reverb. And that's about it. Now, there's no specific right way or wrong way to do things when you're tweaking the drums. What you want to do is make sure that you put your microphones in the right place. You had a good gain structure. You'll find that with a good gain structure, the drum sound coming in will always be so good that all you have to do is a few adjustments here and there and your drums sound amazing. And whatever you do, don't forget to have fun, because when you have fun, then the mix is fantastic. Come on!
If you're keen on learning, be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss out on anything.